Have you ever heard someone say something so outrageous, so unbelievable, that you're convinced they're joking only to realize, too late, that they weren't kidding at all? That's what happened to me. And the truth is, the moment she said it, a part of me didn't want her to take it back. Welcome to Silent Quill Diaries. Before we dive in, don't forget to like and subscribe. It's free, and it helps more than you know. Now, let's begin. I was sprawled out on the couch that evening, glass of wine in hand, trying not to think too hard about how empty life had started to feel. 3 years. 3 long years without so much as a spark that lasted longer than a bad date. It wasn't for lack of trying. I'd gone on apps, taken blind dates, even let my friends set me up. All dead ends. All disappointing. And I had finally said the thing I'd kept locked inside. If I don't feel a real man's hands on me soon, I muttered under my breath, I might lose my mind. It wasn't supposed to come out. The wine had loosened me, the comfort of being around my best friend had lowered my guard. But once it was said, there was no pulling it back. Across from me, Madison nearly spit her drink. She choked, coughed, then burst into laughter that filled the room. God, Claire, that bad? Worse, I groaned, dragging my hand over my face. My ex wasn't exactly thrilling and single life. It's been nothing but bad dates and worse choices. Madison tilted her head, her lips curving into that mischievous smile she wore far too often. So what's stopping you from just picking someone? You make it sound like rocket science. I huffed, shaking my head. Sure. Let me just grab the nearest warm body and hope he knows what he's doing. That'll solve everything. She studied me, quiet now, and I didn't like the way her eyes narrowed as if she'd already figured out something I hadn't. Then her expression shifted, slow and deliberate. You know, she said, drawing out each word, I think I might have a solution. I narrowed my eyes. If you say a dating app full of creeps. Nope. She cut me off with a sly smile, lifted her glass, and took her time sipping before dropping it like a bomb. You should borrow my husband. The glass nearly slipped from my hand. I blinked at her, waiting for the punchline. I'm sorry, what? You heard me. Her tone was calm, casual, like she'd just offered me cream for my coffee. I waited. Waited for her to laugh, to wave it off as a joke, but she just sipped again, eyes sparkling like she was enjoying my unraveling. You're not serious. Her brows lifted. Why not? Why not? Because, Madison, he's your husband. She shrugged. And, do I really have to explain why that's insane? She leaned forward then, resting her elbows on her knees, eyes gleaming with a kind of dangerous certainty. Claire, you're trying way too hard to sound shocked. You weren't offended. You were intrigued. My mouth opened, closed. I was surprised. And yet, she said softly, steadily, you're still here. You said it yourself. You miss being wanted. You deserve better. So let me give it to you. My pulse thudded in my ears. Does he even know you're offering this? A wicked smile tugged at her lips. Sweetheart, you think I'd make the offer without asking him first? He's already on board. I told him earlier. I swallowed hard, but my throat was dry. My mouth wasn't working. Madison only leaned back, completely serene, as if she'd planned this entire thing from the start. I told you, she murmured, almost tender now. Ethan is very good at what he does. I'd never offer you anything less. The room spun, my heart hammering faster than I could control. My instincts screamed to laugh it off, to say no, to end it here before I crossed a line I could never uncross. But something deep down had already betrayed me. Because I hadn't left. Because I hadn't told her to stop. She saw the answer in my silence. Thought so, she whispered, her eyes glinting with victory. This is insane, I managed. Maybe, she said with a shrug, but doesn't it sound exciting? Before I could reply, she lifted her phone, her thumb hovering over the screen. Last chance, Claire. Tell me to stop, and I will. I parted my lips, but nothing came out. Not no. Not yes. Nothing. She smirked, tapped the screen, and murmured, he's on his way. The knock came quicker than I thought possible, like he'd been waiting just down the street. My chest tightened. Madison stood, smoothing the fabric of her dress, unbothered, glowing even. She opened the door, and there he was. Ethan. Tall. Calm. Broad-shouldered, steady eyes that held mine the second he stepped through. Warm, unshaken, like he knew something I didn't. "You're even prettier than she said," he said simply, his voice deep, even. Madison laughed, looping her arm through his like this was the most natural thing in the world. "Told you." He studied me, not like a stranger sizing me up, but like a man who had already decided. "This is her?" he asked. "This is her," Madison confirmed. Then she turned to me, reached out her hand, and said, "Shall we?" Every thought I should have had, every reason to stop, slipped away. Because Ethan was already moving toward me, his hand reaching for mine, steady and certain. And the moment I let him take it, everything else disappeared. The door clicked shut behind us. The world outside faded. What came next was not hesitation. Not second-guessing. Only heat, only closeness, only the overwhelming flood of something I hadn't felt in years. Madison's laugh echoed behind us, softer this time, but still certain. She had known all along how this would end. And maybe, just maybe, so had I.